So in transitioning from things I do online to things I used to do in the classroom, this is the same goal lesson. But before I talk to you about it, I want to tell you that sentence strips are your best friend. You can cut them up, you can make vocabulary walls, you can do all sorts of things. Whiteboards are magnetic, so it's too expensive to buy magnets. So I buy these. Realtors use them to put on the back of their business card for your refrigerator, and much cheaper than buying magnets, and then you cut them up to the size that you want. So now keep in mind, all these materials I prepare, I use them many times over a period of years even. So yes, you have to put in a lot of work up front, but it's worth it. So for example, here's a sentence strip. The magnets are on the back. So my whiteboard, it sticks right up there, okay? So it's wonderful because it's less time that you have to be writing on the board during class. It's legible. The students can come to the board and move things around. So this one says, what is her goal? Which is the same lesson that we were just talking about. And then we've got her goal is to. So what I usually do is I keep them down here, and I've got them sorted by what category they are. So I put them up as I'm teaching the lesson, and then they stay up there. In the lesson, they talk about how the word reach is the same as the word achieve. So I've got an equal sign and I've got the two words, okay? And we talked about the what does he want to do? And then I write it again, what does she want to do? Because I think it's really important that they see all the different pronouns. And then we talked about advice. He should, she should. We talked about he needs to. But I added to this, he has to, because I think we hear that a lot in our mainstream culture. He has to do this, he needs to do this. So again, from the book, here are some things that she can do, or he can do. Learn keyboarding, practice English every day, take a GED class. So I've got this up here as a word bank for them to pull from. For more advanced students, maybe not. Maybe I would ask them their suggestions and then we pull from here. So at the Literacy Council, we have them choose goals, and long before I hand them the paper that tells me about what their goal for the semester is, we had this discussion. What are economic goals? What are everyday living goals? What are educational goals? And depending on the level of the class, I maybe help them more than others. So then I've written out everything that they're going to come across on those pages to help her children with their homework. What do you think? Is that an everyday living goal? Is that an economic goal? Is that an educational goal? And we sort them together. Some of them we're confused about, so we put maybe in between two different areas. So we have a huge discussion about everything they're going to see when they're handed that paper before they have to choose their goal. Here's another lesson. It's, I feel sick, I have a fever, what hurts, question formation. And I've got this color-coded mostly for myself because after the lesson is over, I can separate everything out. I don't have to be reading the words. So here's parts of the body, mouth, knee, tooth, all with magnets. So students can put them up, play with them. They could even work at their desk with them. These are irregular, that's why they're red, feet and teeth. Okay, here we've got our aches, headache, toothache, stomachache, earache, backache. Lots of grammar falls into this lesson. We have a and an, so we can have a discussion about that. We've got our pronouns I, he, she, you. I don't have your, because we're using you in this lesson only for the question, do you have a headache? So we're not going to be using your, but I have I, my, she, her, he, his. Once again, color-coded. It's another modality for them to use. Here's the verb am, is. We've got the word sick, we've got the word fever. So students come to the board and they can make questions, or we have a period here for sentence. I think it's important that they know the difference because we talk about intonation when you ask a question. But if you have this all prepared in advance, You don't need to be looking at your book to see, oh, what vocabulary words am I supposed to be doing? It's all right there, okay? And don't feel like you have to use it once and never use it again. When they come into the class the next time, have this up on the board for them to play with as you're getting organized. They love it. They love moving things around and making sentences and acting out. You can even do dialogues with this. But once again, the whole magnet idea is wonderful. So this is an activity that I do to get them out of their seats and just a little bit of action. We've already been over what does she look like, and we know the colors of hair, we know curly, we know straight, we know shoulder length, we know he is bald. So I will have printed a set of these pictures that's actually larger than these, and I'll do a whole class lesson. What does she look like? Does he wear glasses? Does she wear glasses? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. And they'll use more than one adjective in a sentence. She has curly, long, black hair, or she has long, curly, black hair, or something like that. So this is a game where they're working with partners. So I will have had the chairs already set up like this when they come into the classroom. And I pick one side to put a photo on. And that's going to be the person that's in charge of saying to their partner, what does she look like? And they'll hold up their picture, and the partner will say, she has short blonde hair. Then they would say, does she wear glasses? No, she doesn't. They will practice. Then the person at the end puts it on the floor, and everybody rotates to the left. And so I will keep feeding new pictures until everybody's done all the pictures. In my classroom, I would grab those that are at the end and bring them back to the beginning to keep them circulating through. In this room, I don't have room for that. But it's a good way for them to practice with a partner. Then when we finish, the photographs go to this side. And same thing, we rotate through. So they get a chance, what does she look like? And this person gets a chance to describe the person. So activity is always good. Like we talked about before, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile. I like to use music. Simple things like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, it might be babyish, but they have children, or they just enjoy learning it that way. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes. That's a fun game to play. Many of my former students, when they see me, they say they still remember B-O-U-G-H-T, B-O-U-G-H-T, because it's really hard to remember how to spell that. So I often come up with raps or songs or whatever, or I have them come up with things to help them remember things. These materials are for a lesson from Ventures 4, Unit 8 from the workbook. It's a lesson on soft skills. So once again, I've taken some tag board, I've written the soft skills, I've used magnetic tape on the back, and as we talk about them, we paste them to the whiteboard. So those are up during the whole lesson. They stay right up there. And then I've got a matching game, and I've actually made 7 sets of them, and I keep each set in a Ziploc bag separate so we don't get them mixed up. And as you see here, here's each of the 7 soft skills that we're talking about in the lesson. And here's the definitions. All I did was take screenshots from the workbook and then photocopied them. Obviously, I crossed off the answer there, and students work with a partner to match them up, the definition to the soft skill. So that's a good matching activity. I've learned the hard way that every time you prepare materials, you need to label it. What book is it from? What unit is from? Is it from the workbook? Is it from the textbook? Is it from Ventures 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because I've gotten myself mixed up on figuring out what goes where. These are true-false statements about soft skills. For example, an employee with honesty doesn't read the newspaper during work hours. Is that true or is that false? So what I'll do is I'll hand each student one of these, or maybe each set of partners, because there aren't that many. And then I'll say, if you're false, go over there. If you're true, go over there. and then we'll discuss why you think it's that. Once again, movement, getting up, getting out of your seat. It's the kinesthetic and the tactile because you're touching it, the auditory, the visual, it's all pieced together. Same lesson, same scenarios that are right from the lesson. I did not write these. Alan always looks for something to work on after he finishes his own work at the donut shop. Now remember, these soft skills are up here on the board, so they can say, which one does it go with? Okay, and they can either come to the board and talk about why they think it goes there, or once again, and partners might be good because these are a little tricky. But these are materials that I have for Unit 8, Ventures 4, that I'll have forever. Because after the class is over, I'll put them back in the baggies. They're labeled. I can use them another time.